Hey guys, Dave here in my rather cluttered workshop today, and today I thought I would do a review for you of the WorkSharp Field Sharpener, which is used for sharpening knives and other things. So I got this from Amazon probably about a month or so ago, and I've been using it quite a bit. Very impressed with it, and I'll put a link in the description so that if you're interested, you can buy it and help support the channel. And if you don't, of course, oh well. Anyway, this is a really nice little tool. It's pretty light. It's easily packable if you need a field sharpener for use in, out on, say, like a hunting trip, something like that. But that said, it's also big enough to work around the house. Okay, so overall length of this is right at about 7 inches. The length of the sharpening surfaces, like these two diamond plates and the ceramic rod and the strop, is right at about 4. So you can use this for large knives, like big choppers or whatever, but you're gonna have to work on a part of each edge at a time. However, what it does really work good on is pocket knives. So today I also have with me this knife, which is a Ganzo Firebird, and again, also came from Amazon, and I'll provide a link. And this is essentially a knockoff of a Benchmade Osborne. It's not nearly as nice as the real thing, but it of course is not nearly as expensive as the real thing. I think I paid around 20 bucks for it. I would say overall quality on it is it's good for what you pay for it, and rather than some of the super steels that Benchmade uses, this is made out of 440C. Now, depending upon the heat treat, 440C is not bad for an everyday knife. I know that's not a fashionable opinion, but for most of us urban commandos, it's just fine. Now, yesterday I was cutting up a whole bunch of cardboard boxes. We recently got a new door installed in my house, and so I needed to get rid of the boxes. And before I started, the knife was shaving sharp. After I was done, it was not shaving sharp. So we'll test out the field sharpener today and see how long it takes to get back to shaving sharp. Now, the other thing is, before I get started on that though, I did want to go over the different features of the WorkSharp Field Sharpener, because I think it packs a lot into a small package, and I think it's really worth buying. And again, I was not provided this. I paid for this myself. So to start off with, it has two diamond plates that are 4 inches long. They're, let's say if we measure them, right at 1 inch wide. One is coarse. This is a coarse one. You probably can't really see. That's coarse. This is fine. Then it also has a ceramic rod. Actually, it has two ceramic rods. The main one here, this is for putting a pretty good edge on the knife. And this actually, it can rotate. Hopefully you can see this. But it's got a couple of, there's like a groove here, and then several fine grooves right here. So the two larger grooves, like here and here, can be used for sharpening fish hooks. The multiple grooves is supposed to be like a bit coarser than the smooth surface. The small one here is intended for use in sharpening serrations on knives. After you get through all that, then there's a leather strop mounted to the base. And again, this is it's 4 inches long, and this one is, let me say, it's about 4/10, approximately 1/2 inch wide. This is a machinist roll. It's graduated in tenths. And the strop came impregnated with some green polishing compound. I used it enough that I scraped off all the old compound that came with it to clean it up a bit, and I replaced it with some of this, some more green polishing compound. This was from Eastwood Company. I'm not sure if they still sell this stuff or not, but you can get green polishing compound pretty much anywhere. And what that does is it gives a very, very fine abrasive and allows you to polish the edge. So that's really super handy. Now the other thing that's really cool about this is, I should put it up here where you can see it. So the magnetic, or I'm sorry, the diamond plates, they're steel with a diamond coating on them, and they're held to the body of the sharpener using magnets. And then so all you need to do is you can just pop them off, and then if you look at, trying to get this so you can see it, but it's actually got holes molded in there for use as a broadhead wrench. So it has holes here for 3 and 4 blade broadheads, and then also for a square and a triangular or pyramidal point. Really trying to get this, maybe that angle will show it a bit better. So that's quite handy if you're a bow hunter. Then on the other side, it just has an empty cavity, and it came with a little instruction roll. Yeah. So, and then finally, before I get to sharpening the Ganzo, the other thing that's really nice, in my opinion, with this is that it comes with angle guides. So if you see right here, here, and here, also on here, and then this and this, because with a strop, you use it a bit differently than you use a sharpening stone. So anyway, what I'll do is I'm going to adjust the camera, point it at my work surface, and I'll show you how I use this thing. You can use it freehand, or you can put it on a work table. I tend to like putting it down on a table. Okay, so again, I mentioned I like to have this resting on a table. It does help with consistency, and depending upon how dull your knife is, it will influence whether or not you need to use all of these, or maybe just just the fine and the ceramic rod, and then finally the strop. One thing that I think is really important, and some of my friends who have knives, and some really nice knives, don't seem to keep up on, is it's a lot easier to keep a knife sharp by periodically touching it up than waiting until the thing is dull and then trying to sharpen it and essentially regrinding the edge. I had a buddy who gave me a Benchmade to sharpen a little while ago, and that thing had been neglected so long, to get a halfway decent edge on there took close to an hour, because it was almost like regrinding the edge. And because the steel was so hard, that was frankly a bitch and a half. So this knife, the Ganzo, is not to that point, and so what we want to do is we want to stop and get the thing sharpened back up a bit. So right now, if you see, it's not shaving sharp. What I'm going to do is still feels a bit sharp, and I wouldn't do that if it was like a super sharp edge. I'm going to try and see if I can get this up to an acceptable level just using the ceramic rod. So with this knife, or with this tool, what you do is you line the blade up on one of the guides, and that sets the angle. And then you maybe do a few strokes on each side, and then you go over to the other side and you do about the same number. And as you can see, this is about as big of a knife I like to sharpen on this device, just because of the length. If it was double the length, it would be great. Of course, then it wouldn't be so packable. One nice thing about the rotating ceramic rod is that you can turn it a little bit to expose a clean piece of the rod. Okay. A safe way to check and see if your knife is getting sharp is to see if it catches on your thumbnail rather than trying it with your the meat of your thumb, because just using the edge of the blade and trying to drag it along your thumbnail, if it catches, it's starting to get sharp. So it is starting to get sharp again. I'm not even applying any downward pressure, I'm just using gravity. So it's getting there. Now, if I had let this thing go a lot longer, I would have started off with one of the diamond stones. Probably the fine. Unless it was super dull, in which case I'd have to use the coarse. And again, because of the length of the blade compared to the length of the tool, at some points you have to work on just part of the edge. Okay, that's actually not bad at this point. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the strop. And so the strop you use differently. Rather than cutting into this like you're actually cutting something, because you'll slice up the strop if you do that, you drag the edge across of it. And what this does is it helps polish up the bevel. And if you have a wire edge, which is like a really fine, very fragile, think of it as a false edge, the strop will help remove that. So this is the angle on the diamond plates and on the ceramic sticks are 20 degrees. I think the ceramic stick is 20 degrees. I believe, and I'm going to have to double check this, this is 25 degrees. And this, and if you take a look at the color of it, you'll see that it's getting darker, and that's as metal is actually removed from the knife. And there are no real hard and fast rules how many times you should strop it on each side or on the stone, the diamond stone or the ceramic stick. It's just you want to keep it even, same number on each side approximately, and then you want to just periodically check and see where you're at. The way I used to check was can the knife slice paper, And if the knife can slice paper, it's got a usable edge. Now I do tend to prefer to at least get it up to shaving sharp. Alright, so let's see where we're at. That is catching pretty well. Let's see if it'll shave. And yes, it will. At that point, as far as I'm concerned, it's done. Could I get it sharper? Probably. Do I need to get it sharper? Not really. The sharper you get it, the less robust the edge will be. So you want to find a sort of the happy medium. All right, I'm back. We're done with sharpening my Ganzo Firebird. It's back up to shaving sharp. I now have a new bald spot on my forearm, and as you can see, it only took maybe 5 minutes, probably less than that, using this Work Sharp Field Sharpener. I cannot say how well the little stick here works for serrated knives, and the very simple reason for that is I tend to avoid serrated knives. I don't really like them. For my uses, they're not ideal. If you're cutting a lot of rope, all right, makes sense. I don't cut a lot of rope, anything bigger than, say, parachute cord. So I do tend to prefer just the straight knives, straight edge knives. So anyway, that is the Work Sharp Field Sharpener. Again, I purchased this. I have found it to be a very handy little tool. It's lightweight, it's compact, would fit easily in a backpack if you're going on an extended trip out in the field. I'm a fan, and so I will again put down in the description. I'll put an Amazon referral link. So if you find this valuable, I would certainly appreciate it if you were to purchase something through the link. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like the video, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and please come back when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching.